Hey everyone, it's Rebecca and I'm coming to you here today and I'm wanting to share with you what homeschool curriculum we use, Math Edition. So I'm a homeschooling mom to 4 kids and I've been homeschooling for about 15 years now. And I'm just going to share with you some things we've used over the years and what we've liked and what we haven't liked and kind of take you from preschool up to high school. So we might just use flashcards when they're in preschool to teach them their numbers or counting things. You want to start them, you want to count upwards, you want to count backwards. It's fun to count backwards and, pretend like a rocket ship is blasting off, things like that. Anything you can do to make it fun. And then eventually I would let them have like a workbook that I would find, maybe at like Ollie's or Walmart or the dollar store. You can find all kind of workbooks like that anywhere. And just to get them some writing practice with their numbers, and they usually find it really fun at those ages. Anything tactile you can use that they can do with their hands is good. This is an abacus, and so this is always fun to have on hand for teaching them counting and things like that. And then once they move into the kindergarten years, I would typically buy them like an Abeka workbook or Christian Liberty Press. Those are two of the ones that I've just kind of fallen back on, that they were just very thorough and I thought very well done. And I don't even buy the teacher's manuals in those because you can usually skim through and see if they've done a good job or not. And it makes it very affordable for those years, so you don't have to buy. Some of these programs are, $100 just for the math program. And if you don't want to have to buy that, then getting a workbook like that, I think, works very well. I use christianbook.com to buy things like that from. But, you can even find kindergarten workbooks at other places as well. Like I said, Ollie's, you've got a Walmart, things like that. And then what we do is once they get into 4th grade, we start them in Math UC, and they do Math UC from 4th grade on up to high school. And we've just found that's really worked. I can pass down the materials from child to child and just have to buy a new workbook every year. And so it's been really good. And some things that we've tried over the years are we've done teaching textbooks, and I personally just didn't find that was challenging enough for my daughter when she did. I even moved her ahead a couple grade levels, and she still just went through it really quickly. I also value writing things out. I think that can be very good for them, but good for their mind. And so teaching textbooks is mostly all on the computer, the one that we did. I do think they have a workbook as well you can get with it. But we did that. We did master books with some of my kids when they were in the elementary years. And kind of the same thing. I didn't feel like it was challenging enough for them, and just didn't care for it very much. Saxon Math is a great math. I used that growing up, but it's pretty challenging. If you have a child that really needs to be challenged in math, I would suggest that. I have only used it from say upper middle school through high school, so I don't really know a lot about the younger years in that, but I do know that it's a good curriculum. But we just kind of landed on this Math UC, and we just really liked it. This is my daughter is in 5th grade, and this is her curriculum. It comes with a DVD. You watch the lessons on the DVD, or you can read them in your instructions manual. They also have some of the lessons online as well. And then there's a test booklet and your student workbook. So your student workbook, you're going to watch the lesson or read the lesson. It's going to have 1A and 1B and 1C are all going to be lesson practice. So whatever you've learned in your lesson that week is going to be specifically just on that, just problems on that. And then, so let's just say your child already kind of knows that concept, because usually they start with review, when you first start a workbook anyways. And then you can just let them do A, see if they've done okay. They can skip through B and C and go on to D. It's still going to have some things that they've learned in that lesson, but it's also going to have review from the weeks or years before to kind of catch them up on some things. So D, E, and F are going to be that systematic review. And then you've got G, which is application and enrichment. That's some extra stuff they can do. And then you're going to move on to the next lesson too. And so there's usually about 30 lessons in each book. And you can also do your test at the end of the week if you want to. We don't typically use these test booklets. I just haven't found it necessary, but you can if you want to. And then your instruction book said it's going to have the lessons. So, and then in the very back, you're going to have all your answers to the problems in your student workbook. So it's, like I said, it's just a really great curriculum. Found that it works really good for all of my kids, and so we've just used it on up through high school. They typically do Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry, and then I have them do this stewardship, which is basically just like a consumer math that they do, and I really like it because it just kind of teaches them a lot about things they're going to use in real life, like checkbook, interest, how to calculate things, or how to calculate if you're measuring something for a house, like painting a house, things like that. Realistically, it's kind of like that in all of the Math UC curriculum. I just feel like it's very applicable to everyday life, which is great because that's what we need to be using math for, right? So that's how we do it, and it's worked really well for us. Some other supplemental things that we've used over the years are, like, I had something like this little Math Chef cookbook, and it just kind of teaches them different recipes and how to incorporate math concepts. You don't have to have a cookbook to do that. You can just get your kids in the kitchen and work with them on things like that in there. You're always learning fractions. You want to learn fractions real easy, make a pizza with them, cut it up into, 8 slices and talk about the fractions, things like that. Cup measurements, teaspoons, all that. You can even just let them play with the measurements and try different things. One thing that I really like to do is when we're learning measurements like cup, pint, quart, gallon, is I will get out my mason jars and just have them measure into each one. So 2 cups goes into a pint, 2 pints goes into a quart, and then they can do 4 quarts in a gallon. That way they can kind of see how it works and get some hands-on experience with it. Also, some other fun things that we've done over the years were Mindware. The website Mindware has some really fun little activity books you can get, and it goes on up to different age levels. So they have one called Perplexers. They have one that's like mosaics. They have one for algebra. They have addition adventures. And so it's just these fun little workbooks you can get in addition to what you're already doing, or if you want your kids to be doing something over the summer. And you can usually find lots of good things online. I know years and years ago we did Khan Academy, KHAN. I don't know if that's still around. I think it is, but I don't know how it's progressed over the years. But that's just a free program that you can do online. There's lots of videos that go with it and teach them the different math concepts. I just really enjoy having like an in-person book and stuff. They can take it with them and do math on the road if they need to or whatever. And that's just kind of the way we like to do it. So that's what we use for math in our homeschool. I hope you can find something that works well for you and your family. If you're trying something that's not working, feel free to try something else and just see what works best for you and your family. I also have a few other videos on what we use for language arts, science, and history, so feel free to check those out. And thanks so much for watching.